I was in Chinatown with my good friend the Spider Lord. We're going around and, I saw something very interesting. It was dried shiitake mushrooms. I'm like, these are very interesting. I could do more than these, something with these and just make them into a food product. So I bought them. Okay, here they are. They're in a different bag now because the other bag collapsed. But these are whole dried shiitake mushrooms. A matter of fact, I was looking for them on the internet to see what the closest thing was to what I found. And here we go. Wellington, show the nice people the picture right there. There we go. That's the, you can buy those on, I believe, Amazon or something like that. So I believe that with the shiitake mushrooms, we could use these for Warhammer. Everything's for Warhammer. Or even if you're doing a haunt and you want to make a scene or make a moldy creature with mushrooms sprouting out of all of their orifices. Maybe not all of the orifices. That could get you in trouble. Don't make it all the orifices. But you could have creepy mushrooms. So, and, another odd thing too is like, I'm going to make a giant mushroom for miniatures. But, that could be very good for terrain. Excellent for terrain. So, we're working on a little project here. So let's go mushroomy, baby. Yeah! Okay, starting off with the mushrooms, the first thing we're going to do with our shiitake mushrooms here is we're going to take out the little stub right there, the little, just going to get a piece of pliers and break those out. As you can see, we have 3 different sizes here, small, medium, and large. Oh, that's good enough. Then taking some wire from a clothes hanger, I cut them into pieces and then I filed off all the sharp parts so it doesn't like stick through my finger. And now I'm going to mix up some 2-part epoxy. Okay, now we're going to get a nice globule of epoxy on the end of it. And I'm going to mount it onto the mushroom. Now remember, I have it filed so I had no sharp edges. You might want to do this on the table. I could use my fingers because I have these wonderful manly calloused hands. So it probably won't go through, but if it does, I'll be like, right, and this is Reap. Okay, that's okay. It's showing a little bit in there. And we're going to do multiples of these. Here we go. The nice globule. And this one here, since I could feel it right before it breaks through, but like I said, you have to be very careful. You have it nice and filed down and go right through your finger, and it will inject epoxy into you. Then you'll probably become some sort of like epoxy supervillain who will fight Spider-Man and be like, "I'm going to rob all the banks of Manhattan." And it's like, why does everybody keep going attacking Manhattan all the time in Marvel? The Marvel universe, there's so many damn heroes everywhere. It's just crazy.
Indeed.
Why did they go attack somewhere like, I don't know, Long Branch, New Jersey? No, actually, that's a pretty scary place. Now, we do have the extra epoxy. While that's still wet, we're also going to do the stalk for it. So, took some aluminum foil. Here, I got that nice and packed in to make, like you can see, it's kind of like the stem of a mushroom. I'm going to take another piece of the wire here. And from the bottom, I'm going to jam it. I pre-made the hole on this one. I cheated on it. I'm going to stick that in there. And then we're going to do, yes, the Anakin trick, which you probably know from my other videos. But I'll go over it again, just in case you didn't. And we're going to coat the entire thing in epoxy. Get that nice, and this helps reinforce it. And when you put the Anakin trick, is you put sand on it, and the clay sticks to it much better. I don't, but my wonderful attire is going to get stuck to the table. I have to pull that back. Shoe mushrooms are they want to get in on the act too here. Oh, Wellington, don't these mushrooms smell wonderful? Yeah. He was saying before they smell like urine. He's like, God,
indeed, they do
people eat these?
urine.
Oh, but let's see.
Where did you buy these?
Oh, I got these in they were in Philadelphia in Chinatown about 2017. So it's 2023 now. So
Oh, that explains it.
yeah, I think so. But it still smells a lot better than the black duck egg my friend Spider Lord got me. It's a black. They were saying black duck eggs. They were just like, it tastes like they came through a transporter or something. I can't even describe it. Okay, so then we'll add it, trick it. Get it, coat it in sand. And I really didn't think this one through.
Where's this sand from?
Oh, the brigantine sand, of course.
Of course.
And I kind of screwed up because I should have got a bigger container for it because for the video I used a small one. But let's see, let's take the glove off here and we'll just use some sort of apparatus to get the sand on it and twirl it around and get it nice and there. Oh, that's working. Get it nice and sandy. And let that stay in there until it encrustulates and hardens. So there we go there. So that's nice and sandy. I usually like to cover the entire thing with it, but we're not going to do that. So basically, what did I just... Oh, I kicked the microphone. I wonder if you can even hear me. I should put the microphone closer. See if we can get the microphone up higher. There we go. That's a little better. And it becomes like this one dried. So that's a nice dry one. So that one's dry. And then we coat it in... We're going to go fast with this video. We put it in clay. You know, this will be the Sculpey, the original Super Sculpey, mixed with Sculpey 3 in leaf green to give it the colorations. And see the tool video or see the Spined Chaos video, Spined Chaos Beast video for the sculpting methods, and also the Elmo the Eye sculpting video. So I'll spare you that. So the clay was put over this, and then it was cooked in the oven and hardened. Well, this video is going really fast. Okay, so we'll move you over there. Okay, next step. Now, here's some different ones here. Okay, the epoxy is all dried on this right now. Now, to further reinforce it, the next step, the liquid that I put it in will start to shrink it once you take it out and start to dry. So some of them, I actually allow this to happen for the smaller miniatures. If I want it to actually shrink a little, but if I want it to stay the same size, I'll get some of the epoxy and just paint the inside bottom here, structure it, just to hold it to that shape so it won't shrink. Now you'll think, why don't you just cover the entire thing in that epoxy? Actually, I want this to get totally saturated in the special magical fluid of, dun 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 dun, dun. This stuff is great, mini wax wood hardener. Can they see that, Wellington?
Turn a little more.
How's that? Okay, we got it, go. So there's the wood hardener. Now what this is used for, you can get this from the hardware store. Say you have like a floor that's rotted out with, like the toilet flange is having a bad time on it and you can't change the floor. You could like to use this on it to harden the wood. But this also works great on these mushrooms. This is how we're going to actually petrify them. So, okay, here we have one that's been soaking, and I like to soak them for about 3 days minimum. We're going to pickle these suckers. Now, I've been using so much of this, I usually have it filled up much higher when I put the mushrooms in, so they're totally fully coated. But you're just going to drop them in there and let them sink to the bottom. Let's say, I think I'll just put 2 in for now. And that one there, I'm going to go to the store and buy more wood hardener and fill that one up. Oh, it's just starting to bubble, so that's all starting to seep in there, and that's going to harden it. So it's going to be nice and petrified, and we'll have to get back to Junior over here some other time. Now, once you take them out, okay, here's an example of some of them. Now, these ones here, they're all sealed and rock hard. So this is what we're going to be using on the models. And like I said, they're petrified and they're no longer edible. I don't think they were edible before when they smelled like urine, but hey, somebody likes them. Probably the people with the black duck eggs. Okay. Okay, now the 2 pieces we're going to be using for our Nurgle army for this, these are going to be used for the terrain. I have several of these right here. And we have a piece of Nurgle right here. We did another video where we did the vein effects here with Virginia Creeper. But, okay, so the Beast of Nurgle is going to get his own mushrooms. And there's going to be a field of terrain that'll be these guys with the mushrooms on top of their heads. And in my storyline, what we're going to have... Oh, thank you. Thank you, Wellington. I forgot the microphone. Hold on, let's get the microphone closer to my big yapping mouth. There we go. So probably the first half of what we just filmed something like this. Okay, we're back on track right here. Okay, so for the Beast of Nurgle, in my storyline, okay, these are growing from the Garden of Nurgle right here, and these are the rudimentary form, and then they grow into the Beast of Nurgle proxy right here. So they're going to be all growing all over the place, and as you can see, it has like a very rudimentary mouth right there, like a moral mushroom here, and there's little eye sockets. If you're doing them yourselves, you might want to roll up a little ball of the sculpting and make your own eyes for it. And this, I'm going to be using little bead pieces for it. You might not have these because I took them out of a filter. But let's start with the big guy right now. Okay, so we'll go reverse and start with what they actually turn into. Okay, these are roughly put on right now. I took a little tool there and I made a hole. I cut these down. And I just make sure they're going to fit nicely into place right there. But I'm going to paint these separate and before I attach them onto the model. So I'm going to try something a little bit different with this. And since this one here is the fully grown beast, he's going to have a little bit more detail than all the little terrain ones. I'm going to do a little trick here. As a matter of fact, this is going to be sloppy. So I'm going to have to make everything nice and clear first. So I'm going to start with Tree Frog from Thermocoat. And I'm going to take, you can use a toothbrush, but I've got this one right here. I don't know what it's for. Probably like a hairbrush for a Gretchen or something. Okay,
Barragonis, did you wet the brush?
Yes, but you wet the brush first. And let's see, you get that spatter effect. So let's see if I can, maybe a little bit too wet on that, but I'm going to get a little spatter effect there with probably all over the camera lens. So there goes that expensive camera.
Oh my.
And it just wipes it off. Great Napoleonic strategy here while doing this. Okay, a little. I think I would have done it a little less wet if I could add a time machine. Okay, that's good for now. And we're going to add some, let's see, some Craft Smart Flame. Flame, is that just called Flame? I'm going to leave forever flame. That's a little bit thicker there. I think orange goes well with that. Let me bring it over here and off camera, hit it a couple times. Let's see how this one comes out. Okay, yeah, that works. Okay, we'll drop this in here, and I'm just going to hit it with a little bit with a heat gun so it doesn't run too much. Okay, now using the airbrush here, I'm going to coat it now with transparent green gold. Now, I don't want to coat it too much. I want some of the natural colors to show below. So I'm just going to hit that very lightly on all of them. Really going to accent it more than anything else. Okay, now taking one of my favorites here, the Aves Epoxy Sculpts, the A and B, both mixed up with a little bit of green color in right there. Made a nice little ball with that. You can use green stuff for this. The Aves Epoxy Sculpt is much cheaper. I'm going to take a nice little chunk right there and wrap it around. Okay, then we're going to smoosh it right where we want it. So smoosh. Okay, right there. And we're going to take a little texture tool. Let's see if I can do this without you having to watch my hand through the whole thing. And we're just going to work it in a little bit. That's a pretty good color. I'll just go back and paint it up a little bit like the original body, or maybe even use a couple of different washes to kind of blend the two together. And we'll continue for the other three. Okay, very important now. For the last step, we have all the Aves Epoxy Sculpt in there. We're going to use the thin CA glue and hold it this way so it'll fall back. It won't run over the face. And just let that get into the nooks and crannies and seal. That's actually more important than you would think. Otherwise, it would pop off. And once it touches the Aves Epoxy Sculpt, it instantly seals it. So you want to make sure you got all the little nice nookies and details all done just right about at that point. Okay, so this is his fellow here. I just have to, later on I'm going to finish the base up, add a little greebles and rocks and things for this guy. And now we can move off onto the terrain part of us. Now here's an oddball thing. I want to put like rudimentary eyes in here. Like I can't pronounce it. There's a creature called a Fatund of Garlmug or something like that from Nurgle. But I want it to be like almost very small insect eyes showing themselves in all these little holes here. So we'll do this one. How's the camera working there, Wellington?
Very good. I'm just
very good.
zooming in on you.
Zooming in. Usually you see this like my hand, like as you could see as I sculpt this here. Like, oh, they probably stopped tuning in before then anyway. Okay, and I'm just going to put a little drop of CA glue. That was that was a little too much. I'm going to add a little bit more to soak that up. Now what these are actually is a filter for a steamer. It's like a water conditioner, and I cut one open one day. I saw like, I took the cartridge itself, it was a spent cartridge, and I'm like, oh, I can make a tower out of this. I cut it open, all these little oddball beads fell out of it. I don't know, maybe someday, I'll put them in my Etsy store, sell them in like little dime bags or something. So all the little boys and girls out there can do the same thing, because I got a ton of this. I have to think to do that sometime. So let's see, did that set yet? Am I going to be brave? Okay, I think it's set. Because we have 2 more eyeballs up here. It's still there. Okay. Let's be brave now. And I'm going to sneak in the next ones. And once again, too much CA glue. Now, you think I would have stopped by now? Like, no, I'm too dumb. Okay, that's really in there. Let me see if I can pour some out. It doesn't. A bit more than I can chew. Add a little bit more. A little bit. Okay, yeah, that'll soak it up. Okay, let that set. Okay, you know what I realized? I should have done that last. Because I really like that color. I was really going to paint over it, but I want to keep it. But for the other ones, I'm going to do this step last. Because this is going to get airbrushed over, and I could probably paint them individually, and then, I don't know, my head will probably explode like the guy in Scanners for, like, being so stupid. Also, this is going to need a dry brush, too. I'm going to use a light dry brush color on it. And what I should have done from the beginning is tell you how this was painted. This was painted exactly, from this one here. The method was exactly the same way as in the Spined Chaos Beast, except for the exception of, instead of using blue, I used a scarlet color, so I replaced that with a scarlet color. Then I did the glaze over it right now. It hasn't been airbrushed yet, but up to that point, that's where that was. And okay, we'll go now to the, as we did with with Herman over here. That's officially known as Herman now. So this guy, we're going to do the same thing. Here's a very large one. Mush that in there. Matter of fact, let's see, which that would be the best way to go. I'm sorry. And oh, that fit pretty good. And I can barely get the tool in there, but okay, I don't have to go too crazy with it. That's good enough. And the CA glue. Just drop more CA glue in there. Blip blip. Oh, that worked good. Okay. There we go. Okay, so next off to the airbrush phase. Okay, and lastly here, we just took some raw umber hue, and that's from the golden variety here, and from Garage Kits USA, the transparent dark olive, and we just filled in the little extra deep recesses of it. So, okay, we've got one down, and we have to finish off now the family. So, let's do that off camera so Wellington can go home and eat. Wow, that just like moved on its own. Somebody play like the Omen music or something. Oh wait, no, I think that's copyrighted or something. We'll make our own version of it. We'll do the rip-off version.
You can make your own.
Okay. Okay, that should work. That should work. Next up is the bases. Okay, I tried a new technique here, so I did a little bit of experimenting, but I'll show you how we did these right over here. Okay, so we got our guys over here, and here's how we're going to do it. For the materials we're going to need is pieces of cardboard. For this, I'm going to use, okay, we have a Cheerios box. Now, you can use Honey Nut Cheerios for this, or Frankenberry, or Count Chocula. It doesn't matter. Or some Yummy Mummy for that. So I cut a little piece here. First, we're going to make a little crescent shape right here. And this is going to be the base for which these guys are all going to be stuck on. Originally, for this, I used aluminum siding, and it was overkill. This doesn't have to be that heavy. It's just enough to set up for the... let me get the aluminum foil. Yes.
Good Lord, Paragonus, it's aluminum.
I know. There's this YouTuber's like the aluminum and yaminium. I don't know what the hell he's calling it. We called it tin foil as kids. It wasn't even tin. But, you know, back then there was a lot of head damage and stuff. You know, we didn't believe in the helmets. So, now I got a helmet with screws sticking out of it. So, okay, so this is... Let's get this down here. Let's see, one more piece. Maybe two more pieces. And you want to squish them. You don't have to squish them too much because you're going to be planting these guys down. You don't want to wrestle with it too much. And as you can see here, as I got a little similar to it right there, that's the basic shape I'm going for. And in Wargaming 2, you could do like a ring around thing. So ring around the rosy. So that works out if you're doing like a forest type of forest base on it. Okay, and then one more piece. And really the cardboard is just to hold it all together until we get to the next step, which will secure it and give it that nice poopy look. Okay, so let's get these here. I'm just going to use hot glue. It's not going in the oven, so just going to do a very simple hot glue. Let's see, there's one, two, three, and four, which I think I didn't really put the glue in the right spot. It's probably going to stick to the table. Okay, I got lucky on that one. And it's a little spot here. Just going to tack it. Because we're going to use something called 320 on it in a moment, and that's what will really cause it to, this is the 320 here, the chocolate poopy look right there that all the fungus is laying into there. So, okay, we're going to let that cool off a little bit. For the next step here, now this is Smooth Cast 320. This is a two-part urethane that you mix together, and just as a little example here, this is what it would normally be used for. I have a silicone mold here, and I would mix the two parts together, 50-50, and just pretend it's in here for now, and then you would pour it into here, bloop, 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 and let it fill, and once it dries, which is with a 320 takes 3 minutes, which is kind of difficult. I like 321 at 7 minutes. Very hard to get right now, though. It seemed to have disappeared for a while, but we do have the 320, which is the fast set. But anyway, once it sets, bloop, 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 then you would pull the piece out. Yes, it's that easy. You get like, in this case here, we have a little squigger-copter right here I've been working on. So that's what it's normally used for. Now, and they also do make smaller sizes of this, which would be the sampler size. This is the large size. So that's what it's normally for. Okay, let's move him. Let's move it out of the way. Let's put Baragonus' arm for the 10,000th time in front of the camera. Okay, so we're going to mix it 50-50. As I attempt to put it on the floor without spilling it. Okay, now the way I like to mix 50-50, this is the way I do it, but my brain's kind of damaged, but this is the way I do it anyway. I start with, I have the master cup right here, and I usually wing it. I don't measure it. Like you see those two marks there? That would be for like two different types of projects. For this one, it would be the smaller project. So I put the little mark there, cut the V in, I put the cup in, and okay, I want it to be at the bottom, so I take the magic marker, and I give that the mark there, so that puts the mark on the cup exactly where I want it. Now I have to put it on 2 cups. And then I kind of can look at it from the other side and see it when I pour right up to that mark. So that's my way of doing it without a scale, because I'm too cheap to buy the batteries for the scale. And here they are. Okay, I have these already pre-made, 2 nice little Dixie cups full of these.
Pre-poured.
Pre-poured. Oh, and I almost forgot to mention, in part B, I used colorant. I used probably about 6 drops of black, brown, and red, which is actually quite a bit of an overkill. But it'll give me that nice brown fungal look. Okay, and I got to mix. First, what you do is you mix the colorant side into the part B until it's fully mixed. How am I doing with the hand there? Is that the only thing showing, or we got the...
No, quite good.
Okay, quite good, quite good. Don't want to show off my palm olive hands too much. Now, I have to work fast with this. Now, with the old stuff, I would have like 7 minutes to work with. This is the 3 minutes, so this is going to be a marathon. Okay, that's pretty good right there. Okay, now here's the scary part. And also what we have in the wings here is we have sawdust. Sawdust is going in here. That's the trick to get it all bubbly and yucky looking. Otherwise, it'll be a nice, smooth finish. But we want it to have that look to it. So, that's the look. Okay. So, okay. And we got the boys over here ready to go. You know, we have the little ends right there. I cut them ready to be stuck in there. With the little sharpened points on them. Okay, now here comes the brave part. Okay. Pour. Okay, that's good. Good enough. Okay, mix it.
So you have the part A and part B mix?
Part B, and okay, we're mixing right now. And remember to scrape the sides. That's very important, because if you get an improper mix, the paint won't stick to it. It gets like sort of, I don't know, greasy. Yeah, greasy would be the right word. Okay, so we're stirring, very nervously stirring, and I'm feeling for it to get warm. I'm going to keep going until it starts to feel a little bit warm, and that means I've only got a little while to work on it. So I have to be very careful. And also with the sawdust going in it, the sawdust is going to make it expand too. So I used actually a very little bit for that large piece right there, and it's starting to feel a little warm. Okay, let's make some sawdust. Here we go, bloop. Let's try 3 pinches. How does that look? 2 pinches. More. Sawdust. 3 pinches of sawdust. Okay, more. Here's 4 pinches of sawdust. Okay, it's kind of getting there. Okay, more sawdust. 5 pinches of sawdust. Until it gets, okay, we can see there, it's sort of... It's got the consistency of, like, really gross oatmeal. What would you say, Wellington? Is that, I guess, oatmeal? Not cream of wheat. Yeah, oatmeal. That's like...
Oatmeal.
Oatmeal.
So.
We'll go with that. Let's keep throwing it in. Oh, boy, I'm running out. Okay. That's it. That's good. Spin. Okay, and now we're going to plop it, putting a piece of cardboard down first. We're going to plop it on, try to cover the whole thing with it. You know, I might not have made enough. I might have to do this twice. Huh. First time I didn't make enough. Or maybe I got it. Maybe. Let's see. Can we get it? Now, right now it's hardening, so I got to work fast. Okay, I'm going to redo the back end of that right there. Okay, we're just going to concentrate on the... Oh, maybe I can't make up my mind whether it's good enough. Should I stay or should I go now? Come on, get in there. I could also cheat. Maybe I could use like some scenic fauna to fill in some spots that I missed.
Not bad, Vagrancies.
Okay, that's good so far. Okay, now let's put the first guy over here. Smiley goes over here. There. Let's see. He's got to go a little bit wonky. Bring him forward. We're going to bring him forward a little bit. He's talking to his buddy over here. Okay, then with the little guy's going to go in the end. So we have we got the singing dude over here. We have Luciano over here. I bet you didn't know I could sing opera too. Now, as we get little bits and it's still gooey, we could keep on working it, make it grosser and grosser. So yeah, let's just keep it getting grosser and grosser. I'm going to pull a little bit out. What do we have? I think we have some... Okay, the timing's working very well here. So I got a big wad right here. I'm going to stick that in the back here, right at Luciano's butt. We're going to fill in Luciano's butt right over here. And a hair just went up my nose. Okay, let's see. I think a little spot right over here. Okay, maybe I'm gonna tool that in a little bit. Get that up in there, and gross and yucky. Now, I don't want it sticking on the cardboard. So what we did was we put a piece of wax paper. Yep, okay, it's starting to stick already. Let's get on the wax paper. That'll make it nice and flat. And okay, what do we have left over? We've got all the leftover chunks here. Still have some working time on it. We're doing good. We're doing very well with this. Let's put, I think right there, that's a good spot for it. I'm going to actually agitate a few spots in it and make it stick up and get all yucky. Okay, working out so far. It's working out so far. Oh, it's starting really to set up now. It's getting pissed at me. It's getting quite pissed. Nope, still working. Right over here, right there we go. Right over. Why do I sound like Leho the Wicked all of a sudden? That was one of my friend's D&D characters way back in, like, what, 81?
Good Lord.
Okay, I think that's all she wrote. Okay, because now it's really set up. Yeah, I can actually touch it. Now, another trick I like to do, too, is... now, we all use the spiky bits for those in Warhammer games, and we know how you get your fingers stuck on them. So, I'm going to press down on it in a few spots, just so it's not too sharp, because the what do you call it? The sawdust will make it a little bit sharp. So I'm going to lift it up and just... Oops, I got some on my hand. Okay, just work it down a little bit, and you'll get a couple spiky bits in there. And the last thing I'm going to do is, okay, this is quite set up. I like to hit it with a little dot of CA glue, because the 320 is actually designed to pull out of a mold, so sometimes it doesn't bond that well. This, I'm just going to hold it here and just let it work its way down into the cracks, and that'll hold it 100% in the end. Okay, and back on the flat. And we'll let that sit up for about, I guess, probably about before painting. I leave everything for an hour, even though I don't have to. And the Death Guard now has their new friend, the Mushroom Beast of Nurgle. Yay! Let's all gather around, and we can all poop the blessings of Nurgle on the heads of the undeserved. But uh-oh, they're right out in the open, aren't we? And here's what we have. But what we have here now is... Yeah, we're going to bring in some cover. Up he already dove for cover. Stay there. You'll be safe. So here's the finished product here. As you can see, we now have the terrain, and we can put that around them as such, and use that for cover. So that'll be actually wood's cover that you would have in the game. Let's move our little buddy out of here. He's charging into the Eldari. So here's a nice little cover circle for them, which would be wood's covering. Well, you know, as far as this edition, this is 9th edition. 10th edition is coming out soon. And a couple of days later, 11th edition will come out after you buy the $60 book. So who knows what the rules will be right there. They might not even have wood's cover. But here we go with the terrain. And we just finished these little guys off over here with a little bit of dry brushing. A little bit of ochre, some flesh color around the faces here. And so a slight bit of Nurgle's rot dropped in, and for the bases I wanted to match it as close as I could to the mat, so there's a little bit of purples and greens in there. And that brings us to our conclusion. So, and always remember that light at the end of the tunnel is just a freight train coming your way.